Okay, we are going into the surface area of rectangular prisms. So at the top here, I'm going to highlight, we have our total surface area formula, which reads surface area equals I'm going to zoom in. So surface area, and this is for prisms. We have P, which stands for the perimeter of the base. So if you think about capital, remember the capital letters always mean that you're going to be substituting another formula in for it. So we have a capital P, so that's why it's the perimeter of the base. And then we have our H, which is just like you guessed, the height. And then plus, obviously. 2 is just a normal 2, and it's being multiplied times B, capital B, which is the area of the base. Okay, so we have the perimeter of the base. We have capital P is the perimeter of the base, and capital B is the area of the base, and that is for total surface area. Total surface area. So if we're going to lateral surface area, we have surface area, so this is still surface area. Again, we have capital P, and it's this perimeter of the base. This part matches up, and then we still have our height here. So lateral, or meaning the lateral surface area and total surface area are connected, but one is only part of the shape. So to start, we have remembering that in order to find our question, so we have our question being find the surface area of each figure around to the nearest tenth. So we have our shape here, and in order to find this, I'm going to start by writing my formula out. So I have formula, substitute, solve. So what we have here is surface area. So when they say surface area, they're always going to mean this means total. So unless they clarify that it's just lateral, it's going to be total surface area. So the formula we're going to use is S equals capital P times H plus 2 times capital B. So our missing information, so I'm going to write that over here, our missing info is going to be P, capital B, lowercase h. So these are our missing values from our problem. So if we need to find the perimeter of the base, because P is the perimeter of the base, we need to choose a base. So I'm going to choose a base here. So I'm going to use this bottom base that I'm highlighting in blue. So if that's my bottom base there, I'm going to redraw it. So if I redraw my base, this is what I can do actually. So if I take I'm going to trace my base, and if I take this, I'm going to move it down here. So what I did is I took that, and so I'm using this as my base, this blue. This is going to be blue too. So now we can label it. So we're going to have 2 centimeters. We can see that right here, 2 centimeters. So this one's going to be 2. So then the other value that we need is not going to be 10, but we can look up at this top one. So we notice we have 2 bases. So I have this blue one up here, and we can observe that this line that I have in red here is 9 centimeters. So our other side of our rectangle is going to be 9 centimeters. So now we have 2 centimeters, 9 centimeters. So now we have our base. So this right here, this is the base. This is base. The base of our rectangular prism. So in order to find the perimeter of the base, what we're going to do is we're going to add them all up. So we're going to take, so capital P equals 2 plus 9 plus 2 plus 9. So what I'm doing is taking this and I'm walking around the perimeter of my rectangle. So we can then add that up. 2 plus 9, 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 plus 11 is going to be, got it, 22. So this is going to be 22. So again, I'm just setting up my problem in this missing info place so that when I have to substitute, it's a lot simpler. So now, in order to find the area of the base, so capital B is going to be the area of the base, which is finding the area of this rectangle, meaning we're going to multiply our length times our width, our base times our height, our length times our height, whatever you've learned in the past. Essentially, you're just multiplying the two adjacent sides, so it's going to be 9 times 2. So 9 times 2 will take us to 18. And the height is our last missing information, so I'm going to use this purple here. So the height is the measurement that connects your two bases. So we have our two purple, or our base here that I'm highlighting in red, or I'm arrowing to, and red. And then our base is what connects the two. Okay, so that means, so we can see here that our base, our height is going to be 10. So now we can take each of those numbers and plug them into our formula. So S equals capital P, 22. I'm going to use parentheses, 22 times 18 plus 2 times capital B. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did that wrong. Probably caught me before. 22, our height, I'm so sorry, I got 10. I was trying to substitute the base for my height, but I caught myself. So 10 times 22 plus 2 times the area of our base, which we found was 18. So we can then put it in our calculator, or we can do some math in our head. Give you a moment to maybe type that out. So hopefully you landed at 22 times 10 would be 210, plus 2 times 18 would be 256. So $256, and that's going to take us to centimeters squared. And that will take us to answer choice B. All right, so that was our first problem. So let's look at number 2. Okay, maybe keep number 1 up so we can look at it. So formula, substitute, solve. Here we go. So we have our first surface area equals 2 perimeter of our base times our height plus 2 times the area of our base. So I'm going to do my missing info column again. And so we're missing our perimeter of our base, we're missing our area of our base, and we're missing our height, PBH, peanut butter and honey. All right, so in order to find the perimeter of our base, we need to identify what base we're going to choose. So I'm going to choose this, let me get, I'm going to trace the one I'm going to use first so I can take it out. So I'm going to use this bottom that you see me tracing here. Okay. So that is going to be the base I'm going to use. I'm going to move that down here so we can trace it later, but I'm going to highlight it in blue. So we have this base down here in blue. Base is blue. So if that's our base there, we can see here that we have a 9 and a 3 on both sides. So I can take my 9 meters and 9 meters. Then we have 3 meters and 3 meters. So in order to find the perimeter of this base, so remember perimeter is all the way around, so our perimeter is going to equal, to find that we're going to do 3 plus 9 plus 3 plus 9, and I'm just doing it in that order just because if I was walking around the perimeter it would be 3 plus 9 plus 3 plus 9. So 3 plus 9 is 12. And then 12 plus 12 is 24. So our perimeter is going to be 24. And now for our area of our base, we're going to go, remember, length times width or base times height. So we're going to do these two adjacent that I'm lasering in red, 3 times 9. So 3 times 9 is going to equal 27. And then our height, again, remembering that the height is the number that connects our two bases. So I'm going to highlight both of my bases here. Okay, so it's a little tricky. So we have those two those two highlighted. So we need the number that connects our two bases, and that's going to be this 4 meters. So you see that it pink is going to be 4 meters is our height. So then we can substitute here. So substitution, we found our 24. So 24 times our height, which was 4, plus 2 times area of our base, which was 27. Running out of room here. So then we can do our math. 24 times 4 is 96. So that one's 96. And then 2 times 27 is 54. So we can add those up. 54 plus 96 is, our surface area is going to be 150 meters squared. All right, so those are our two examples that I'm going to leave you with there.